Good evening everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Alina and welcome to House of Alina. For those of you who are probably coming across this channel for the first time, welcome, and for those who continue to support me, I really do appreciate your support. Thank you and welcome as well. I'm very excited about this video, but before I get any further, let me remind you all to do this.
Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, share, comment and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Alina Alain. Thank you for watching.
Okay, so we are back, and what I want to talk about this evening is something very dear and close to me. Many of you would hear me in the past videos talking about how much I like interior decoration, and the idea came to me to explore different aspects of design, not just interior decoration. So interior architecture, furniture design, interior design, and several other disciplines. So what this video is about is a lead up to other episodes that I would be discussing as time goes by. And who I have brought here with me this evening is a friend of mine. His name is Mr. Cosimo Dimaggio. I hope I pronounced it properly. But I'm so happy to have him here because we were supposed to do a video since last year and we had so many hiccups, as they would say, but I finally got him here and I'm so happy. But I want to introduce you all to Mr. Dimaggio because he has a very impressive portfolio, as you'd say, and I just want to let you all know how rich his portfolio is and his experience and expertise. Mr. Dimaggio is a recognized Italian design architect, strategist, principal and chief design officer of Dimaggio Associates, international multidisciplinary design firm. The company is Trinidad and Tobago based with overseas design business affiliation. He is the designer of several important and unique projects that contributes and continues to contribute to the development of Trinidad and Tobago growing design landscape, such as the stores of Starlight Pharmacy, Starlight Collection and Nova Coffee, as well as the Santa Rosa First People Community Heritage Village, together with many other design typologies like commercial and residential, institutional office, religious, restoration, sports, landscape and urban projects locally and internationally. He is also the founder and current president of the Society of Interior Architects, Interior Designers, Interior Decorators, Industrial Designers, Furniture Designers of Trinidad and Tobago, in which he has the status of Certified Interior Architect and Interior Restoration Architect. I am happy to announce that I joined this society probably early last year, and I am now a certified interior decorator and discipline leader as an interior decorator discipline as part of the Executive Advisory Council. And of course I want to now interview Mr. Dimaggio, and we'll get into some discussions where we can explore other areas, and he would shed some light on his expertise and his knowledge. Welcome, Mr. Dimaggio. I am so happy to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome.
Well, I listen what you say there, and I'm glad to remember now all the career is 39 years that I work in the several design discipline.
Yes.
And it was nice to hear from other person listen that kind of background, which usually I can read in my CV when I send to companies or clients, just for them to be aware about myself.
Yes.
So it's different to listen from other people that speaking about you.
Yes. I know you're not very boastful about, you know, your what you have achieved, but you know, you have done very well, you know, for yourself. And I'm also happy to call him my friend because I have learned a lot from him, you know, and I think a lot of people that has encountered Mino, which we also call him, has also learned a lot from him as well. I have some questions for you. I don't know if you would mind.
Absolutely not.
Of course, I have to prepare some questions, right? So, okay, so what I wanted to find out is, I know you've mentioned it before, but I just want you to expatiate a little bit more. How long have you been practicing design, and in which discipline?
Well, it's as I said before, basically 39 years.
Yeah.
And I was able and lucky to explore mostly of the design discipline like architecture, interior design, decoration, furniture, product design, landscape design, and restoration design.
Yes.
Interior and architecture in all these periods, and also much more lucky was the fact that I had opportunity to have clients and work in many countries all over the world, not only in my original country, which means Italy.
Yes.
So I'm very content about my experience and life experience,
Yeah.
which is not only about design but also live the life and, you know, visit the world, have a approach with different culture,
Yes.
different languages, and for that I also apologize for my English. I know it's not so good like yours, but I have a few languages in my head.
I can understand you, and his English is very good. Trust me, it is.
Well, it happened to me that I have to speak 3 languages per day.
Right.
Italian, Spanish, and English minimum, if
Right.
not others that I thanks God that he give me the skill to learn different languages. But that is very important because you can communicate with people and say your idea directly in their original languages,
Right.
without, you know, go through translation or other people to try to, you know, reach them the message that you want to give, in particularly when you explain the design. Well, but the design itself is a message. I mean, it's a way that we have to express ourselves. That's why since when we born, I mean, after we born, better say, since when we are very young, we're supposed to exercise art, which means drawing. And that's what I did. At 5 years old, I was already drawing a lot of cover of Walt Disney's.
Right.
And there where my father went by my teacher of the elementary school, and after 5 years of elementary school, he have to choose me my career, or at least where I have to go.
Yeah.
And this teacher, which I will never forget, he told my father, well, he has predisposition to be, you know, in the art and creativity ambience or the creativity industry. He drew very, very well, and for his age, and also he is very creative, so I suggest. And there start my career.
Yeah.
And at 18 years old already, I designed, well, at 17 years old, better say, my first building, because it was for my family.
Yes.
A 3-story building, apartment. And from there, I never stopped till now. And I repeat, I had an opportunity, and I was lucky to meet people during my life that give me a chance to express my creativity in several places.
Yes.
Exploring also the lifestyle of the people,
Yes.
which I call style of life, better say.
Right.
And this was enrich me, was make me the man that I am today, and that I was before, with my defects and my good things, like everybody. But the design is part of my life, basically the major part of my life.
Great. Okay, so I want to ask you as well, if you can share some of the work you have done with your illustrious career.
Well, as I said before, I was not limits myself to design only in typologies of design which I was trained, right? Like architecture, interior architecture, better say, but more architecture because I come from that school.
Yes.
And I was always like the interior architecture because I believe that as we, as a person, the body basically take together everything that is inside.
Right.
But if what is inside of your body is not working properly,
Yes.
then your body suffer. So try, like say, pushing this in another position, talking about design itself. If the inside of the every typology, like can be a house, can be a shop, can be a public space or other, is if the interior of this structure do not work properly, is not ergonomic, is not functional, of course the entire structure, for how much can we look good, it don't work.
Right.
And the people suffer that. So I was always very fascinated and
Yes.
and I was always very interested to explore that part.
All right.
Because I'm as a person, I'm not as you say a bold person. I don't like show off or, or do things. I don't want to say I'm I can put it how to say how you call people in English discreet. I'm not really so much discreet.
Right.
Sometimes I'm indiscreet, but but of course I don't follow the way like very pretty today is, you know, expose yourself in social
Yes.
social channel, which I like it, but
Right.
it's not my philosophy.
Right. Graph in his speech I also want to read, which says that design is the ability to transform the things we do every day into things that we love to do every day. The ability to make something simple into something elegant. The reason to transform a normal day into a special day, creating spaces and objects of which we fall in love with. That is so beautiful and well written.
Well, that part is some, I can put it, definition that I share it with other designers, because of course we talk between us, or we read, or we listen other people talk, and then you, I can put it, share and you accept that explanation.
Right.
This is one of the thousands of way to explain a design. One of the last that I heard just a couple of days ago was from another very important designer, multidisciplinary designer, very known, very well known worldwide, where he defined design in the way that his design is embracing basically the criterias, the contemporary criterias of your project.
Right.
I think this is one of the most perfect definition of design that I heard, and I totally agree about that, because it connects the design and the designer.
Yes.
Because if the designer, which has the project to do not understand the contemporary criteria of his project, he can't really produce any design that is not only in time with time, I mean in the same period that we live, because he can't design something that is 500 years ago or 500 in front of him. Of course we try to go forward, right? But also connect the sense of responsibility, because the designer are people that have to be first of all very responsible or what they are doing, because believe it or not, we speak about always doctor, attorney, all kind of other professional people that affect the life of the people, but I can tell you that one of the most dangerous is the designer.
Right.
Because if we decide, voluntary or involuntary, I mean deliberately or not, to make a design for a person that is not good, is not functional, is not working, we destroy the life of the people. And that is the reason why I do that kind of speech, for also make the designer be aware about them value, and then in the society as a designer, but also as a human being, because if they don't have clear in their mind what mean the dignity of the person, they can affect the destiny of the people.
Yes. And that brings me to this other question, which is, what is your opinion about the Caribbean design and Trinidad and Tobago design?
Well, when I came here over 12 years ago now, of course I put it, joined with a different perspective of life, a different way to understand certain things from my original European and better say Italian mentality.
Yes.
So I have to adapt myself and try to understand with a lot of curiosity, of course,
Right.
and sometimes without understanding, because it was very different from where I come from. And
Right.
that don't mean that it's better or worse, absolutely. It just was different.
Yes.
So I realized that it was, well, at that time I was also exciting because I see that those countries, in particular Trinidad and Tobago, where I had the opportunity to start to work, invited, I came here invited for a project. It was giving me a chance to see that here there is a potential to do things that in other parts of the world exist already, or might, if exist already, here can be done in a different way with more, local characteristic, and also better possible.
Yes.
So because not always that have been done in Europe or America or in this country that are of course bigger than Trinidad and Tobago or the Caribbeans, that mean that are good.
Right.
And this is something that I always say to in every opportunity I have, talking about that we have to establish an identity. So Trinidad and Tobago designer, they have to establish an identity where them design is recognized like a style or like a school. Let's say Trinidad and Tobago school design, right? In the sense that that's how the Trinidad and Tobago design. So that create a very interesting point where people can come in this country for see
Yes.
what they design are capable to do.
Right.
Talking about, of course, architecture, interior architecture, design, not other things which already I know Trinidad is very, very well known, like music or carnival design. And
Yeah.
those are different situation. Because other country has this kind of identity. So when you
Yeah.
come in Italy, you say Italian design. So
Yes.
that's is the thing that I didn't see when I came. Probably I didn't see, but it was not so evident for me. And during this year, I try to make my best to participate to create an identity that I would like to call Caribbean contemporary design.
Okay.
So I try to work, and some of my work really represented this way forward. Even, of course, it's very simple to say that most of my work are also influenced of my origin, because I cannot become Caribbean when I am already Italian. I mean, it's something that's part of me. So of course, some of these work are influenced. People say that look European.
Yes.
It's that part that I don't really like it, because I would like it to look more international.
Yeah.
But the Caribbean designer, the Trinidad and Tobago designer, which are very talented, I see many of them, and I see many things that they do. There are talented people here in this discipline. They have to continue to push
Yes.
to identify them style, which can identify them origin, them country origin particularly, and then create an interest, international, worldwide interest. Let's go into Trinidad and Tobago, foresee that things or these things or another things, because identify the country.
Yes.
And in that regard, the project of the first people in Heritage Village, beside to be very unique in the Caribbean project, probably the first one, better say for now, the only one, the first one, of course, it was oriented to bring the importance of the first people in the Caribbean, and in particular in Trinidad and Tobago, but it was also done for create an identification of the design of the indigenous in this case, right?
Yes.
So at least we can start to have one of the most representative projects that already exist in Trinidad. There are many other projects that represent Trinidad and Tobago, but this can be, I don't know, attached to the rest of it, and say, okay, let's go in Trinidad and see the indigenous architecture or some other design that are in this village, where represented the history of the design in Trinidad and Tobago, passing through the colonial design, Spanish, English, French, and so on, till I arrive at the contemporary design, which I believe that there is a space for the Trinidadian designer, for Trinbagonian designer, better say, sorry, to establish a style. Establish a style that identify the country, identify them as a designer. So I want to be part of this evolution too, because yes, I'm Italian, I'm born in Italy, but I feel a man of the world. So it's not my passport or my certificate of birth that identify me. Yes. I am a human being, and I live in the earth.
Well, you know, this brings me to this other question. Why did you choose Trinidad to live and work? I mean, because someone with your experience and your knowledge, you can go any part of the world and work. So this tiny island of 1.3, you decided to come here.
It's something that happens in the life. It's not really something that you can plan. It's something that you can refuse.
Yes.
If it happened to you, you say, no, I don't want to do it. Well, I decided to do it because I did a preview trip here for City Country. And as I repeat, I said already, I saw a lot of potential. That was really exciting me and made me feel happy. Yes. Because when you work in a country where basically most of the things exist, or you have to just repeat things that exist, you don't really feel so much exciting. Instead, to be in a country where yes, there are many things, but still is a space to do new things and to do better, as I say. So basically, I was not came here, but I was get invited from local companies to join projects and things. So I decided to do, and from there, I never leave it. I'm still here. And then my sense of responsibility told me that, well, if you have to continue to work and live here as much of your time, you have to do something for this country. And which I repeat is my second country basically. And I really have to say thanks, because to the Trinbagonian and to the country itself, because give me the opportunity, was believe in me and in my skill to work for them and produce whatever I did so far, that it contributes, as you say, for the top design landscape in this country. And really and truly those projects was a change, something, because for example, these are light stores. For me, it is a really part of my life, because when I got that work, I basically asked the client and told the client that if I will accept to do that job if he allow me to point one of my most important principle of life, which means respect the people. And you can't build the stores or anything if you don't respect the people.
So I just have a couple more questions for you, Mino, and I just wanted to find out how the idea came up. How did the idea of SIADIF TT come about, with the purpose and goal for, and what are the plans?
Well, of course, when you go in a new country, you try to understand the professional body that exists in that country, because you will like to join, or at least in Europe this is the way to go. So you have to, you just don't come there and work. You will like to join in professional body if they exist, which one exists. So after a couple of years that I was working, I realized that it was not a professional body that identified very well the discipline of the interior in particular, and as well the furniture and industrial design, which are very, very important discipline all over the world. Just for mention now, there are many industrial designers, I can mention name, but that are known all over the world, that they are also doing architecture, they're also doing interior design. So we are in a period right now where it's back more in the Renaissance, if I can say. And finally, because I really, my idea of the professionalism is a bit different of the typical standard that the people have in mind, and says that do the work as a designer or architect, interior architect, whatever. It's like a plumber or electrician, because it's a work, is not only profession, right? Only, and in this case, you can do also several things. You don't only limit yourself to do one type of things, unless you want it. So in this case, I realized that it was not really a big distinction between all this, I can say title or better discipline. I was heard about, because of course I was called to do interior design work, interior decoration work, architectural work, but in particular I see there is something that is missing here. So I started talking around and get some information, and then I realized that it does not exist any official professional body like that.
Yes.
And then that the division, or the distinction between interior design and interior decoration, in particular in Trinidad and Tobago,
Yes.
was a kind of thorny topic, because many people call themselves interior designer, but really and truly are more interior decorator, and
Yes.
vice versa.
Yeah.
So I say, well, let's start to do something that can be helped to clarify and to put some order
Yeah.
in that. So then, with other designer, I founded this society, and from there is now already 5, 6, 7 years. I don't remember. It's a quite good piece of time,
Yeah.
and it's really developed. We
Yeah.
are already over 40, 50 members between different categories.
Yeah.
And we had the pleasure to have use
Yay.
inside, and that was the effort, because for years, again, because I'm not a man that go and talk around, I was trying to create SIADIF in a way that people have to understand what it's about before
Yes.
join, and
Yeah.
then when you join, you make that work, right? So that's take more time than the typical things. Better say, I'm not a big fanfare person,
Right.
so I don't like put even this creation of the society all over the place. In fact, we don't have plenty social exposure,
Yes,
right? But
that's true.
it's go through people to people, because I
Yeah.
would like that the people come in because they understand why. And then, I repeat, the name SIADIF is exactly Society of Interior, because I distinguish
Yes.
the discipline. Interior architecture is not interior design, as many people think. Interior design is not interior decoration, as many people think.
Yeah.
Of course, none of them are industrial design and future design, which is more easy to understand.
Right.
So we did that distinction between the things. We wrote paper and I can put it. We wrote about what is this, what is the another one,
Yeah.
and right now many designers are joined, corporate are joined,
Yeah.
and bit by bit we are growing.
Growing,
Unfortunately,
yes.
this COVID was stopped.
Yeah.
The activities since the 2014 we celebrate the Interior Design Day and
Yeah.
Industrial Design Day,
Yes.
because SIADIF is also observer member of the society of the IFI, which is International Federation of Interior Architect Designers,
The
and
international,
the
sorry.
Federation of Interior Architect and Designers,
Right.
which is the bigger organization in the world that many society like us, or association of designers all over the world, they are part of it. We
Yeah.
are still not part official in terms of being professional associated with them, because there are some economical aspect to respect.
Yeah.
We are not rich at that point
Yes.
to pay the fee that they ask, which is not small money.
Yeah.
But they recognize us. They want to know about us every year when we do the celebration and whatever activity we have. So, and also in the couple of years, I was basically create a connection with the other association and society in other part of the world. In particular, last year I went in Argentina, Uruguay, and I had a nice conversation with the Society of the Interior Designers
Yeah.
in Argentina and the interior designers in Uruguay,
Yeah.
which we are looking to work together for create some kind of organization that take together the South American country, and Trinidad and Tobago will be probably the first country of South America not Spanish speaking in
Oh.
this organization,
Okay.
which is still at the origin, at the very initial stage, but at least we recognize everybody, each other. So that was a very big step, and I'm continuing to push it to our members to start to have a relationship with other organizations, Singapore, Dubai, Abu Dhabi,
Yes.
Malta, all small countries. We're looking for to start to recognize each other between these small countries.
Yes.
Because of course there are big countries like America, Italy, Germany, French that are part of this IFI, but it's difficult to have a relationship with this big organization. So we start with a small organization because ours is a small organization, it's a small country, small number of designers too. So you don't want to compete one time. But this is for, again, give an opportunity to the designers in Trinidad and Tobago, first of all, to understand which discipline you really like to do. So call yourself with the right name and see if you are interior decorator, be proud of it, as you are proud of it, and do forward in that discipline, exploring, understand, because interior decoration is a very rich discipline, as well the interior design, as well the interior architecture, better say the interior industrial design and the furniture design. And finally, I was happy in particular this year because we arrived to produce also some gadget that we will distribute to the all, I mean the renewal member and the new members, which was it was represented exactly what the philosophy of SIADIF. It's a gadget that is very useful. It's a campaign. I mean, it's like a companion of us when we working, because you can put on the table. So but how look like is very inspired from the first people cap hat. Right. But at the meantime, it's very functional. You can put many objects inside and on top of it. And the way also was created was very original, because it's created from a recycled pipe, rainwater pipe, 2-inch rainwater pipe, and it was amazing what this furniture designer, Mr. Faisi, was capable to do with his hand. And that's why I say there are plenty talented people in Trinidad and Tobago, only that you have to push them to express their creativity and create the ambience where they can feel comfortable. And that's the reason why when I first thought about create an organization like that, I was really believe that can arrive at the point where we reach right now. Basically.
And my final question to you is, what you don't like?
In general?
In general.
Well, obviously I have no doubt to answer. I don't like the ignorancy, and I don't like the ignorant people. Because with ignorant people you can't talk. They want to always write, and the way they live is the way they want you to live. So when in the world the ignorancy will be basically eliminated, it will be a better one.
Right.
It will be a better one.
And that is why I had this idea to incorporate different episodes on my channel, and going forward we will be discussing different disciplines such as interior decoration, interior design, furniture design, interior architecture, so that persons can become more knowledgeable about these different disciplines and at the same time gain a better appreciation for it. Because what I found is very glaring in this country is that interior decorators such as myself and sometimes interior designers are underappreciated, and that is reflected where clients sometimes don't like to pay, you know, and they think that, you know, they want to tell you what your work is worth. And I think that's because people are not very cognizant, they're not knowledgeable, they're ignorant, you know, they're not aware of what really entails as being a interior architect, an interior designer, even an interior decorator. Because as I said in my last video with Nikisha, interior decoration is not about just having nice things and putting it into your space, but it also sometimes incorporate the function of understanding the function of the place, and, you know, getting nice things, yes, and having the aesthetics of the place look really good, but it goes way beyond that. So I'm very, very excited about, you know, going forward with different episodes, and you know, having Mino and my other associates in the society come on board, and where we can share and shed light on the different disciplines. Mino, I am so appreciative of you coming here, taking the time out having this discussion with me, and you know, really believing in what I am trying to do, believing in my channel, and you know, supporting me in that area. And I can't wait to have you back.
Thank you very much.
You have to come back, of course. So I want to thank you all for watching. I know it was a long video, but it is important, and I want to again thank everyone who continue to support my channel. Don't forget to leave a comment below, give it a thumbs up, share, like, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.
Bye.